has new starter, so somebody probably burned up the old one cranking and cranking and cranking on it. The engine is free, turns over, it's got clutch. It even has brakes. Let's go take a look. Welcome back to the channel. Mackie got a spa day today. Look at this guy. Looking good, buddy. So shop dog's all cleaned up. And would you look at this? We teased it on the social medias. But the whole family went on this one. So we didn't do a whole lot of, we didn't do any videoing. But we had a rescue. We did a rescue today. We went way out west. And kind of had a combo rescue an old Ford truck and take Jalen's grandfather out for a birthday lunch. Happy birthday, Rex. Appreciate everything you've done for our family. Here we go. We got to get right on this because the Irish parts store closes in about an hour and we want to get this running, and I think we can. So it's an 1983 Ford F150. It's had a little bit of paint treatment, but it's a two-wheel drive, so you know, not the top of the line, but still really cool. Came from out kind of in ranching country, way western Nebraska. It's got a cool flatbed on it. It even has a fifth wheel plate down in there, ball to tow the big kinds of trailers. Has decent wheels and tires. The body's pretty clean. We got a few, you know, rusties here and there, and we'll show those to you a little bit later. But yeah, flatbed, big tow ball on the back. The inside is pretty dang super clean. There's hint number one of why we had to have this truck. It's got the 4-speed. Here's hint number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 20 is it's a 6-cylinder truck. You know, we love the Ford 6-cylinders around here. So it's got the big 306. Plus, it's an air conditioning truck, power steering truck down here, and power brake truck. So, why not? Why wouldn't you? The front of it, it's got kind of a homemade cow catcher on it. That'll come off. But behind there, you got to be able to look through some of the uglies on some of these rides. It's got a pristine nose on this thing, and they call these the bowl noses because they kind of roll over in the front. It doesn't run currently. The young man that sold this to us says it'll crank like a son of a gun, but he can't either get voltage to the spark makers, or it has voltage to everything and can't get it to actually fire. So that's where we're at. We're gonna try and get this done in less than an hour, get this thing running on its own. It has new starter, so somebody probably burned up the old one cranking and cranking and cranking on it. The engine is free, turns over, it's got clutch. It even has brakes. So we've got a clutch, we've got brakes, we've got an engine that turns over. Allegedly, we just don't have spark. So that's where we're at. We're going to get you on a tripod and we're going to figure it out. Power steering leak when we get this going.
Half-ton suspension's light.
Yeah.
I can feel it when I set that battery in there.
Well, and I think this old girl's, you know, got a mile. Just be dead. I got your extension cord over here.
I got enough out of the roll thing. I can string it over here.
All right. Let's get some.
Those should be on enough for the dash to at least come on, right?
Yeah, I think so. We've got some. We'll have to tighten that a little bit. We've got fusible link that goes to the car. Looks like it's intact. Here. And yeah, we've got voltages here. Should be voltage in there. Voltage going down to here. Structure. Sorry, Mackie. Got voltage there.
I did me.
What's going in? Up,
Okay.
but we got a dead dash.
That's weird.
A little bit.
This is on at 10 now. That's start or click, right? What is that?
That's the starter cooking.
Should I turn it up?
No, not right now.
Okay.
I don't know why we have a dead dash if we have.
Do the dash lights just not work? I guess the tailgate should come on too, though. Yes. At least one of them sort of kind of. It's pretty dim though. It was like kind of flickering. Yeah, you've got one headlight and it's dim.
It's not going. Okay, it's not the bad. It's not the positive to the starter. You must just have it grounded down there. I'd rather it was grounded up here somewhere.
It does.
I mean, it's okay that it's in there. I need to double check that connection. That's tight.
Wiggle it. It is to the bell housing.
Okay, that's fine then.
It's got an interesting connection though. It's like a crimped on eyelet. I don't know how great it's crimped, but I don't know how that matters at the moment.
Well, let's see what we got here. When you jiggle it down there, does it look like it's a piece of crap or what?
Well, just the wire wiggles around a lot in that eyelet, and the eyelet kind of flexes.
Okay.
It's taped around the crimp, so you can't really see if it's actually moving in the eyelet or not.
Okay.
But
let's use something different.
okay. Okay, Jalen here this time. We've exchanged. We put one battery in, and it kind of cranked, kind of sucked. So we changed it for a battery we thought was better, and this one's much better. It's cranking. We've got a spark plug tester over on this side, and it's saying that we've got spark at least to that plug. So we're gonna try and squirt some gas in it and see what happens here.
Okay, we primed the carburetor a little bit with the squirty bottle. We're gonna leave the fuel line on for now. If it's got junk fuel in it, the filter will either get clogged or, you know, let fuel through. So let's see if it barks off a little bit here. Go ahead. right, so it's clattering around just a little bit, but it was way louder. Then you could tell oil pressure came up and it got quieter, but we're still a little rattly. But we've got no smoke back there. It's idling. It started and went to idle. It's got accelerator pump that you can rev it up a little bit, and it's pulling its own fuel. I added 0 additional fuel to the carburetor. I don't know. Okay, end of evening updates, or pretty darn close to it. It's getting kind of late, but wow, that's all I have to say. It's running. Every time we start and run it, it gets a little bit quieter. Now, Jalen ran in and got supper, and I started putting coolant in it, and it took almost 3 gallons of coolant. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Why did it do that? And then it got up to temp and immediately gushed all the coolant out of the water pump onto the into the drain pan. So we got that going for us, but otherwise we're making strides. I'm telling you. Let's see. Brakes work. We've got most all the lights working. There's Buster, the shop kitty. Let's go under here and look at the body. Oh, my liver. So we're pretty good. We got just a little bit of bubbly back here in the cab corner on this side. We do have a hole, but underneath in the floors, look you guys, look, we've got one little hole underneath the driver's feet. We're gonna patch that, no problem at all. The rest of it is wonderful. There are no holes underneath on the passenger side, but that cab corner back over there is compromised as well. I don't know if a license plate body work that, or if we'll just shine around it and let her ride, but we are in a very good place. It's a day and a half later. I'm gonna cut this little chunk of video in here for you dudes and dudettes, because I realized that we didn't really go over diagnosing what was wrong with this truck that wouldn't let it start in the first place. And well, we don't have a concrete answer for all of y'all. A couple things we found right off the get. We had this was the ground cable here. We've since taken it off. It was grounded down to a bill housing bolt, and it was actually just the cover, the dust cover bolt down right next to the starter, which I don't think is normally where they put them from Ford, but it does look like it used to be at one point the factory cable. On the Fords, they had a splice in the middle of the cable where they would ground to the block as well. This was not connected to anything, but if I remember right, I used to go down and maybe tag the block and then go down to the back of like the a bill housing bolt. I don't remember, or maybe it tagged up here by the alternator. Anywho, Jalen was down there and he's like, I don't like this end. Well, this end was all taped up, and it really doesn't look too bad once we got the tape off. In fact, this may be the factory end. There's solder in there. On the battery terminal end, this is obviously not a factory end, and they've got some really heavy duty heat shrink on here that I'm not going to bother cutting off, but it may not have been great here. But remember now, the complaint was it would crank, just wouldn't fire. He didn't think he was getting power to either the coil, or the coil wasn't powering plugs. So if it was cranking, this would have been kind of out of the loop anyway. Hey, Buster. But since we didn't like it, we went ahead and went over to the peg hooks, and we found this guy, and we got it up here to a more traditional mount on the block right at the back of the alternator bracket, and we got her grounded here. The only other issue we found was this positive cable, which is not factory, but seems to be in good condition. This connection on the starter relay was a little loose. I think this one might still be, no, we tightened that one up. So this was a little loose. Otherwise, we cranked it, checked for spark. We saw we had spark, so we juiced it, and End of story. Every time we start it, it runs better and better. So back to your regularly scheduled viewing, but I just wanted to clarify that little point because, yeah, no hardcore answers for you. Enjoy the rest of the video. So we've got some stuff laying around that we might have some ideas for this, but we're not totally sure. We're gonna go run around tomorrow. We need a water pump, a valve cover gasket, some doodads, odds and ends. We're going to probably rebuild these sideboards and just kind of start shining on this old truck. But we're super excited. Hope you're super excited. And thanks for watching along.
Before it's over, I need to talk to you guys a little bit. You know, I've been struggling with something called an addiction. And, you know, my dad's tried to help me with it. My family's tried to help. We've had this truck for about 10 hours now. 2 hours of that time, or 3 hours, was just getting it home. And I've already relapsed. I just can't stop putting shiny wheels on rusty stuff. I've just got a serious problem. We've stacked up a stupid collection of mag wheels, and
Well, like the Bronco.
yeah, you know,
We put them on the Bronco.
put wheels on the Bronco before about anything else. There's a set of 18-inch chrome torque thrusts on this Fury back here that has the windshield cut out of it. I mean, I just can't stop, and you can't stop me either. I'm never gonna quit. But yeah, so we're thinking this is what we're gonna be rolling with here in the future. Might need a little bit more aggressive tire, but we've got some time to get those found. So
Hey, anybody got some 30 9.5 10.5s or 31 10.5 all-terrain, something like that, floating around, kicking around your place? We need a set, and they got to be decent because we're going to sell this off to somebody else and we want it to be safe. But got something, hit us up, comment.
yeah, we need some new tires for this rig bad, but the wheels so far look great.
Killer.
We could almost maybe leave these street tires on. You know, they're Nexans, are good tires, but somebody already had my fun for me before we bought them, so we've got a bald one. That's about it for today, I think. And
Tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to fix the mechanicals and we'll be driving this around the Heartland.
yep.